On Let's Talk Nonprofits, we are honoring Black History Month by celebrating history in the making. Coming up.
So, young entrepreneurs, like I said earlier, is a personal story. It's a story of a young man who grew up having everything, definitely everything he needed growing up, and a lot of the things he wanted. He came from a two-parent household who parents were married now over 33 years, and they had that dream of going from dirt roads, living in the country, to now, my mother's a nurse and my father working in IT. They were able to live that. But growing up in that atmosphere, you were taught, go to school, go to job, get you a good education, and everything else will be all right. What happened, we're talking now 2008, 2009, 2010, when I graduated from high school and went to college, the whole market crashed. My mother was a nurse and she lost her job. How did that happen? People die every day, right? My father, he was going to work, working for the government, the job that they say is the most secure, and people were getting laid off every day. His retirement was then in jeopardy. My friends were graduating from college and not getting hired. I had other friends who had jobs that were then getting fired and having to sit at home, move back home on their parents' couches just to even, be able to have a couple dollars in their pocket and survive. So the solution became clear. I remember being in college and calling back home, and like any other college student, broke and hungry, calling mom and dad and saying, hey, I need some money. And my father saying, hey, we can't do it.
Right.
And at that moment, I realized not only had I been spoiled my own life and I needed to get on my own too and do something, but that opportunity was given to my parents. And at any time, it could be taken away.
Yes.
And the only way for me to ensure that it would never be taken away from my family is to build something, create something, build a structure or a system that I can not only make for myself and make impactful for myself, but something I can pass down to my kids that they could keep going. So yeah, it's a personal story.
The legacy you're talking about is amazing, and I love what you're doing, and what I think of is exposure, because a lot of times there's nothing wrong with education, educating about going to college, because that's for some.
Correct.
But I think sometimes we get to the point where we're like, okay, college, and then go be a lawyer, be a doctor, be this. Like my family said that I was going to be a lawyer because I can argue a case well.
Right.
But would I have been happy? Would that have sustained me? Because I think when you talk about passion and entrepreneurship, you're connecting with something that you love to do, and you work hard, and you'll make sure that you're successful at it.
Right.
So I love what you're doing. Tell me about the programs.
Right.
Tell me what that looks like when you go into a school and work with young entrepreneurs.
Right. Well, when we go into a school, the veil has been lifted. A lot of time, the problems that administrators or teachers tell us is, the kids, the discipline is off, or the kids, they don't care, we have academic issues. Really, what we find a lot of times in these communities, the issue is poverty. The issue is a student can't come to school and expect to learn something because they didn't eat last night. A student can't be expected to come to school and stay awake in class because their parent, their mother, or what have you, has something going on at the home where that child feels like they need to stay awake at night, and they can't fathom falling asleep and not protecting their mother. So when they get to school, that is then their time to rest and be safe and be comfortable. So we're really not dealing with the academic issue. We're not dealing with a discipline issue when we go. We're dealing with a poverty issue.